Hello, hello, hello. It is the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit the bell on YouTube, tell a friend, and subscribe to the podcast on any and all platforms. Today, we're talking about ring gear. I know, right? It took us this long to talk about the most important part of professional wrestling. Ring gear. I love it. I would never wear it, but I love it. Kudos to every professional wrestler out there who goes out in front of millions of people in some drawers and boots and rolls around with other people, gets sweaty, and then gets paid. It is a very weird job. It's incredibly entertaining, and kudos to you. Ring gear is one of the greatest aspects of professional wrestling. Why? Because it fulfills a fantasy for us as fans and for the wrestlers themselves. I think a great example, of in recent memory is the New Day. The New Day uses their gear to get over. The New Day uses their gear to express themselves, mainly Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And the New Day had the opportunity to, let me back up. I've been listening to the New Day podcast. Great show. It's great to hear those guys, chat about how they became a team and how they had to struggle to overcome a lot of bias in the company and kind of get their gimmick over. And one way that they were able to do that, and Xavier Woods put it very beautifully, it was, if I'm on a shelf, if they have a toy of me and I'm on a shelf, I'm competing with the likes of The Rock and, Roman Reigns and John Cena, like all these incredible wrestler toys. I have to stand out. So to do that, I have to make my gear very bright and colorful and interesting. And my figure should come with accessories that you can't get with anybody else. So I will rock, the very colorful gear. I'll put on a unicorn horn. I'll walk out with a trombone because when my toy comes out, the kids are going to gravitate towards the colorful, loud toy with all the bells and whistles in it. That means we're moving merch. If we're moving merch, that means we're making money. That means they'll put us on TV more. And if we get more TV time, we get to showcase our wrestling, which then gets us more TV time again and more opportunities to be on TV, giving us more opportunities to put up ring gear, and then the cycle continues. So it was a business plan, right? Brilliant plan. Also, gear is, like I said, kind of a wish fulfillment for professional wrestlers. You get to be whoever you want. It is a daily cosplay. Daily. Because you walk into professional wrestling and you aren't who you are. You are this version of yourself that puts on this ring gear and you go out and you wrestle. Stone Cold Steve Austin's gear was very much a part of his persona. It was very stripped down, very simplified. He had, crazy ring gear prior. Crazy is a relative term, but he had a lot more flamboyant gear when he was like ringmaster and all the other stuff. When he had all when he had the blonde hair, whatnot. But when his character of Stone Cold Steve Austin came around, he wanted to reflect a more serious, more dangerous tone. So he just blacked out all his gear, put a skull on a vest, and that was his thing. That was his persona, right? And it fit that guy. Then you look at someone like Rey Mysterio, who, in my view, paved the way for a lot of dorks and nerds to kind of take liberties with their ring gear. Rey Mysterio, being the smallest dude, being the most athletic dude in the company, but battling like these giants, he also had to stand out. And a lot of the ways he did that was making ring gear that appealed to children and nerds. Let me not just pull it into children. Nerds like me, because I wasn't a child watching Rey Mysterio. I was a young man. But when he comes out dressed like Daredevil or Captain America or Wolverine or you name it, he's had some iconic like Marvel inspired ring gear, DC inspired ring gear, just lucha inspired ring gear. Now you can't even call it inspired. He's a lucha libre. Just luchador ring gear. Rey Mysterio has some of the I mean, if you're looking for, like, there are people who buy ring gear online. It's like a collector thing, right? If you have even 2 sets of Rey Mysterio's ring gear, you're probably on top as a ring gear collector. The man has had, I mean, the masks alone are incredible. Rey Mysterio is a superhero. he just is. He flies. He's super nice to kids. When was the last time Rey Mysterio was a heel? Does anyone remember? Because I don't. That man has been a good guy forever. He has been a superhero forever. And it has a lot to do with his abilities, has a lot to do with his incredible demeanor. But it has a lot also to do with the ring gear that he wears. That's what engages people with him, right? It's on site. Aesthetics matter. I love ring gear. I think it's one of the most important parts of professional wrestling because it helps frame a character for the audience, right? The Judgment Day are meant to be goths and, you know, bad guys, so they wear lots of leather and dark colors, and, you know, then their actions obviously reflect, you know, their persona. But then someone like John Cena comes out holding this like neon green towel that says, what is it? Never give up, and a big neon orange hat, and he's saluting everybody, and he's running, and he's jumping, and that gear reflects his personality. I haven't, again, I don't watch AEW, but I do pay attention to what they're doing. And the Adam Cole MJF pairing, they have some great ring gear. It's not as sophisticated as, you know, it could be, but having Adam Cole dressed in a Burberry jacket that says Bebe on it, fantastic. They're matching gear where, you know, MJF is wearing all white boots and white knee pads and white trunks, and then Adam Cole is wearing black boots but with white knee pads and white trunks. It looks like he stole some gear from MJF and just slapped Bebe on it for them to become a team. The ring gear tells a story. It tells a story. Some people use it to great effect, others not so much. But recently, on a recent episode of Raw, The Miz took a shot at LA Knight, and he looked and sounded exactly like LA Knight. The gear he wore, the way he walked, he embodied the persona, and it had a lot to do with wearing what LA Knight would wear. Ring gear is crazy important. Aesthetics matter. This is coming from a designer, all right? It matters. If you're a professional wrestler and you're listening to this, I don't know why you would be, but thank you. Tell a friend. Your ring gear is incredibly important, but these are things you already know. This is what the fans see, right? The reason why locals or quote unquote jobbers don't get over is because they don't have a personality. We don't know who they're supposed to be. And their ring gear is a reflection of that. That's when they have like the bare trunks and the short boots, and they kind of just, and the taped up wrists, and they're ready to go. But when you look at someone like the New Day, teams like the New Day or the Viking Raiders, you know exactly what you're getting with those guys. And man, has anyone bought Viking Raiders gear? That thing, I feel like that would take up a lot of room. That's a lot of fur. Anyway, what do you think? You know what? What's your favorite ring gear of all time? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I truly, truly appreciate you and your time. Have yourself a great day, and don't you ever forget.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.